This is Physical Science AMI Day 21 for Monday, April 20th, 2020. Today's lesson, we have 5 questions that asks us to use the table to answer the following questions. You may use the vocabulary chart to help you. It also tells us that there are variables that need to never change so the experiment can test one thing at a time. Those variables are to be controlled, hence called control variables. So this text really does not help us examine this table or look at this chart. Control variables are important so that when we do collect data, we can just focus on our independent and dependent variables. I've added mix and dry because those are some clues we have used in the classroom to help us understand this vocabulary we need to know. So let's read the data table first, and then we can go back and look at questions and this vocabulary we need to know here. So 3 students conducted a controlled experiment to find out how walking and running affected their heart rates. So the experiment was called Effect of Activity on Heart Rate, and it was measured in beats per minute. So here we have 3 students that were tested, once for their heart rate at rest, again for their heart rate walking, and another time for their heart rate running. So we have an increase here in activity. And then we have the number values for each student. Notice there's a pattern here for each one. So is the heart rate increasing or decreasing for each student? So think about that part. Let's look over here at our independent and dependent variable graphics. So the independent variable, the I in mix, is manipulated by scientists. Again, manipulated, M. And it's graphed on the x-axis, so the X. This is also considered to be a cause. On the other side here, we have the dependent variable, D for dependent. It's also thought of as the effect, the respondent, or the measured outcome. And we graph this on the y-axis. So our questions, number 1, what is the independent variable in the experiment? So what is being manipulated by the scientist? What is the cause? Number 2, what is the dependent variable? Which of these is being measured? What is the effect? Number 3, based on this experiment and what you know about exercising, predict how the students' heart rates would change while they are resting after a long run. So here's the heart rates after a long run. What do you think is going to happen to that rate as they return to rest? Is the heart rate going to increase? Is the heart rate going to decrease? Or is the heart rate going to stay the same? Number 4, what guiding question do you believe this experiment might be testing? Well, look at the title. Number 5, what does the data indicate about the increased physical activity and heart rate? So what happens to heart rate as activity increases? Be sure to email your teacher if you have any questions.